Aptos, the thing everybody's talking about, the new blockchain that's going to be the layer one of layer ones, the Solana killer. Let's get right into this. Not financial advice or entertainment purposes only. Do your own due diligence, all that. Crypto's super risky, the whole thing. Rug pulls, getting your crypto stuck in centralized exchanges and stuck in lending protocols and all that. So just be super careful. Anyways, let's go over, I'm going to go over some basics of Aptos. I don't want to get into all the deep nitty gritty. I want to go over to some good news, such as I was looking up the actual development activity on the Aptos blockchain, because I always like to look at that. And then we'll get into some of the things that I don't like as much about Aptos at this current point in time. Things are always changing. Who knows what's going to happen in the long term? Who knows? But anyways, let's look at this platform here. Shows us the development activity on the blockchain. And what was really exciting and interesting, and I was actually really impressed with, is how much development activity. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Whoa. Don't know if I'll leave that in or not. Okay. How much development activity is on the Aptos blockchain already, and I put it up here. I want to compare it next to Cardano, because Cardano has some of the most development activity right now of the layer ones. This is over a 7-day interval. This is in the last year, so October 2021, where Aptos was essentially non-existent. The blockchain has been in development for a couple years, but there wasn't any real development going on the blockchain, such as Cardano has been around for many years and has had a long time to grow and such. But this is your graph here. We've slumped down a little bit, but where Cardano is up at 3,400 over a 7-day period, and APT is at 2,483. That's crazy impressive for a new blockchain that just has so little time to build traction and build a fan base and build a community and all these things. That's impressive to me. I do like seeing that. I do have reservations about Aptos. One of them is the tokenomics. Now, tokenomics is, as an investor in cryptos, one of the more important aspects of cryptos, I think, because it's just so important to the supply and demand of the token and the valuation of the token, where something like transactions per day or total locked value or even development doesn't necessarily mean it's going to move the price action that much. Anyway, so let's get into it right here. The initial supply, October 12th, 2022, 51% is supposed to go to the community. 510 million. There is a 1 billion total supply of APT. And then we have our core contributors, our foundation, our investors, basically all the investors and the team, and anybody who is pre-release of this token who got in early. And that's one major knock on Aptos that the community is talking about, that it is very centralized. They seem to be sacrificing centralization for scalability and security. Aptos is toting 160,000 transactions per second, which is why they're calling it the Solana killer. And Solana did the same thing back before. It had a bunch of transactions, said it could do 50,000 transactions per second. And then the reality kicks in, and they actually get the opportunity to see how many transactions per second they can do. And it always seems like it's less than these predictions that they make. But what is impressive about Solana is it's actually gotten to the point where it has done that many transactions per second, where a lot of these blockchains talk about the capacity and the potential of what they could do, but they don't even have that many transactions happening on the chain. So anyways, we'll get back into that. There is a recent release about the actual number of transactions per second that Aptos is doing, but I like to look at the inflation of a token, because inflation is just very important for buyers of the token, holders of the token. And with inflation, usually means sell pressure. I mean, unless everybody is just holding their staking rewards or holding their tokens, they're never selling, which is not the case. When you have supply increasing, that puts sell pressure on the token and can decrease value. So here, November 2022, you look at the total. This is total circulating supply. They don't have a firm number here, but it looks about a quarter of a billion. Looks about 225 million, somewhere in that. And it basically seems like we're going to hit 500 million. We're going to double in the next 2 years. So to me, that's an immense amount of inflation on a currency, on this token, that if you're basically increasing by about 50% a year, that's a lot of sell pressure on this token. And there's also an unlock period after 1 year where the initial investors and the VCs and all those people are allowed to start dumping a percentage of their crypto. It explains it here and further. So there's a 4-year total lockup period. So in 4 years, all of their initial coins they got will be vested. They'll be able to sell those on the market. But there's going to be a kind of cliff at the 1 year mark. It says no APT available for the first 12 months. 3/48 of the tokens will unlock on the 13th month after mainnet launch, and each month thereafter up to and including the 18th month. 1/48 of the tokens unlock each month thereafter, beginning on the 19th month after the mainnet launch. So all such tokens are unlocked on the 4-year anniversary of the mainnet launch. Now, this article just came out a day ago, 2 days ago. The FTX backed Aptos blockchain under fire for low scalability on launch day, where they were toting 160,000 transactions per second, but it processed only 4. However, Aptos developers said via Discord that the 4 transactions per second does not reflect Aptos's max TPS. They explained that the low TPS is consequences of low network activity. So they're saying that there just weren't that many transactions happening on the network, and that's why it was so low. They've raised, A16Z led the seed round, which raised $200 million for Aptos. Leading crypto exchange Binance also announced support in the Aptos vision. Aptos, valued at $2 billion, has all the funds it needs to develop its infrastructure and ensure that the low TPS recorded on launch day. So it has crazy backing. There's crazy big players betting on this thing. Some people would say that's bad. It's very centralized. It's all controlled. They're going to have all the voting rights. They can dump the coin. But others might say that these are some of the smartest investors in the world, and they're putting their money where they believe they're going to have massive growth. So take that for what you want it to be. Now, for me, this is personally, don't take this as not investment advice, but I never like to buy a crypto so high to its all-time high. If you've been in this for a little bit, you know how volatile these things are. They never stay up at all-time highs. We could possibly be on Aptos could be in its own little bull run right now, even though the market is in a bear market. But our all-time high here was $10.29. We're at $8.21. That's just so in crypto world, alts, they can drop by 80 to 90%. So looking at it in that term, I'm thinking it's overvalued at this point. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of FOMO going on. There's a lot of speculation, but there does seem to be some really good tech. There's a lot of development activity. It has a lot of smart people behind it. It has a lot of big players behind it, which is technically good and bad. So hope you learned something. If you did, hit that sub button, hit that like button, help support the channel. Let's keep going. I'm going to keep my eye on Aptos. For now, I'm not aping in yet, but I think it does have promise, and we'll see what happens. Chew!